Second half of match day 21 in the books starts with Arsenal bouncing back with a massive 5-0 victory. Liverpool also keep rolling with no Salah at Bournemouth. Weekend wraps up with a draw between Brighton and Wolves that ends in no goals. But one of the more exciting 0-0s of the year will have all that was from the second half of match day 21 and previewing next week's matchups coming up. This is the Premiership Bruiser Podcast.
Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Back, Fuchs. The ball in behind Damian Vardy! It's 11! It's heaven for Jamie Vardy!
You are an ostrich. Well, your head must be in the sand. Is your head in the sand? Are you flexible enough to get your head in the sand?
Now the fans are shouting every week, Louis van Gaal's army! Louis van Gaal's army!
Feet after a fabulous start, the game just got away from you there.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the game at all.
Drama from day one! This is the league we want to watch!
Pause.
Oh, Sammy, baby.
The world's longest
5 games.
match week.
Yeah.
I'm
Who
still
thought this was a good idea? This is terrible.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Yep. We got 5 more
Very.
games. First one. Arsenal. Crystal Palace. Speaking of 5.
Yeah.
I don't
5
think,
on Roy Hodgson said.
I don't think anyone saw the 5-0 coming, but getting into it, Arsenal wasted no time. 11 minutes in from a corner kick. Gabriel absolutely dunks on, I forget who, I think Chris Richards.
Chris Richards,
Got dunked on.
real nice sequence by Arsenal to seal off Anderson from being able to track back and help Richards. Trossard with a nice little sequence there. Arsenal just too good at set pieces this year. They're really trying to copy Brentford pretty much, saying what you can do, we can do better.
Absolutely.
I think where Arsenal would be if they had to rely more on open play stuff.
A dark place, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crystal Palace in this one, it was strange because they really offered pretty much no resistance whatsoever.
Yeah, they couldn't play defense or attack.
Yeah. So
There's very much a team that kind of rolled over.
Yeah. It was definitely one of those performances where they lost the game before it even started.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the funniest thing I saw about this game was that one tweet I saw where the analytics bros of social media are very much like, what Roy Hodgson's doing here is really impressive. The way he's pushing Arsenal right here and making them build all the way from the back. And as like a Palace fan quote tweeted it, was like, hey, we lost 5-0, by the way, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah,
I think Roy's just lost the locker room.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was going to say, these players have no drive whatsoever.
But part of it, too, is, I mean, when you're so desperate that, like, the fans are clamoring for Jordan Ayew and complaining that you don't have any attacking options, like, the board's got to do something in terms of buying guys that are, like, Premier League ready now to help you slot in terms of the attack. Mm-hmm. Some creative guys, because this is just bad. Pull up on the wing with, Mitchell and Klein as like fullbacks, operating as fullbacks for the most part, but technically wingbacks. Hughes and Lerma in midfield. Like, I just don't, and Lerma's actually been pretty solid for him, given the fact that he's a free and whatnot. And Hughes has been relied on more than I think Palace fans secretly would like. But it's just going down a dark path with Anderson after the game, like not really showing up for the away fans and stuff.
Hmm.
So Steve Parrish, he's got a little task on his hands to make sure his team don't go down.
Yeah, that's for sure. Back into the game. Arsenal grab a second goal before halftime, 37 minutes in. Again, Gabriel from a corner. This time finished off with a
By
little
Dean
own
Henderson.
goal from Dino.
Yeah, that was kind of rough. I felt like it was gonna probably go in, was it not? I
Yeah,
mean, apparently not, since they
I
gave it to
thought so.
Dean Henderson, but it looked like it was just gonna go far post and in.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised. I was like, oh, that's odd.
Yeah, goes into halftime 2-0. Arsenal in cruise control. Second half, pick up a third goal. Leo Trossard
What a counterattack.
hitting
Started
on
by
the
Raya.
counter. Yep, the quick ball forward from David Raya. Jesus gets it to Trossard. Just a very nice play. Good to see that quick play from Arsenal. You know, like you were talking
Is it
about from open play.
is it crazy they scored 5 goals and Saka and Odegaard weren't a part of any?
Yeah, you know, it was a weird one because obviously the
Is it
two
crazy
late
that they scored
goals.
5 and King Kai didn't do anything in particular?
Yes, yes, exactly.
They gotta get Trossard going. I mean, the fact they even took Trossard off, and then Martinelli comes on and gets 2 goals. Those are 2 massive guys that just have not had it going this year like they had it going last year for them. Honestly, they're 2 main goal scorers for the most part. At times last year, especially down the stretch.
Yeah. I mean, aided by the fact that Roy Hodgson was like, you know what I'll do? I'll bring on Tompkins at right back and he can go up against Martinelli. And that worked out
That's
very
pretty good
poorly.
though. He had to take off
Martinelli,
Mark Grahey to save his match rating. He
two
said, "Yeah."
goals
Jorginho
in
assist on the
span
second
of a
one,
minute.
which is just legendary.
It is
That's what
legendary.
he's out there for.
Arsenal pick up the easy 5-0 victory. Roy Hodgson in trouble. Talks
How's he
about
not
him
been sacked?
being sacked, but not yet.
How are they in 15th? I mean, I guess it's just because Everton are 10 points deducted, but still, how are they in 15th?
Yeah, they're bad.
These are 5 teams worse than them.
Special guest in attendance too, Mr. Graham Potter.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Bring him
I
in.
don't think. I mean, yeah, I just don't think that he would take that job.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either. But if he's interested, I mean, come on, give him the
Then again,
keys.
Fat Frank turned down Crystal Palace a few years ago to go with Everton, and that we know how
Yeah,
that turned out.
yeah. Look where that got him.
Yeah,
Nowhere.
forever pundit.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He took over Chelsea. He did so good at Everton. He got to take over Chelsea again.
Yeah, exactly. Failing upwards.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. I mean, there's not much to say. Palace, if any team has to do some business in the window, it has to be them. And this whole thing with they just not spending money and only relying on like youth guys to really come up, and then you have a manager that doesn't play young guys. It's like, what are you doing? This
yeah,
doesn't make any
it's
sense.
a bit counteractive there.
Counterintuitive. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. But good for Arsenal rebound. Arsenal title hopes are back up. Sam
No.
has faith.
No,
Yes. Yep. He says he does.
no, I do not.
What's
Anyways,
more
moving
likely
on.
to Premier League or Champions League? Champions League because it's just luck of the draw. Whoever you get.
Yeah, I guess because you only have to win like 5 games.
Something like that. Get a couple draws. See it out. Uh, Brentford Forest. A game
Yeah.
that we thought would be pretty entertaining, but not. I don't think as entertaining as it was.
I said 3-2. I knew it.
Well, yeah,
I know
I
it.
know you knew it.
I know it.
I think what I say 2-0, Brentford.
You said 2-0. Good meal.
Good meal.
Good meal.
Yeah, it
Bees.
starts off with a good meal. That first goal by Danilo.
The bees in the trees. Yeah. Last goal. Spectacular volley from outside the box there from Danilo, starting it off 3 minutes in. Brentford don't take long to equalize 19 minutes in. Who other than Ivan Toney stepping up from the free kick controversially as he moved the ball and the foam
Yeah, how about
bended
that?
around the wall.
That was
No
great though.
complaints on the field.
I
But
can't believe that's not spotted. How is that not spotted?
yeah, how is there not one guy in the wall that was going
Paying
nuts?
attention. How about a referee or something? There's cameras all over the place these days.
Apparently, VAR can't interfere on that.
Wow. Of course they can't. Might as well moved it to the fucking penalty spot and say, VAR, they can't do anything.
Can't do anything. Simple as.
Yeah.
So, anyways, big return for Ivan Toney. He looked fantastic in this one, to the surprise of not us.
No.
He had some fantastic link-up play that was dearly needed for Brentford that they've been missing all this time.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where they've been just relying so much on a lot of the young guys since Mbeumo's been out. They actually got a good game out of Jensen in this one, but no one else in the midfield really stood out. I guess Lewis Potter was a bit further back, so he was more midfield and he hit the bar in this one. But other than that,
Yeah.
there's not a ton that really stood out. I think the Damsgaard signing, I'm about ready to give up on that. He's a flop. Yeah, no, especially just like he's typically just like a real decent player, but this year it just really hasn't been going for him. Roslev, never really been a fan.
I don't
Defense
mind
was
Rosler.
a little better this game too because Ben Mee had it kind of sorted out back there, but still, you know,
Yeah.
they really gave up one good goal. You can't really count the Danilo goal. You just chalk it up to good attack on that.
Yeah. Like you said, Keane Lewis Potter having a chance hitting off the bar. Nearly goes in off a Forest player for own goal, but goes into halftime. 1-1. Second half, Keane Lewis Potter had another chance on the other side of the half, but unable to get it to either side of Matt Turner. Brentford were looking pretty threatening on the counter, I would say. Forest, didn't look that great. Obviously missing Gibbs White in attack is a big miss.
Yeah, for sure. And in this one, it came down to a lot of creativity through your boy, Mr. Callum Hudson-Odoi. Dominguez getting a little further forward, but after that, I mean, it was really like Yates was kind of the furthest forward, and that's like, not something you want to see. He gets taken off early in the second half.
Yeah.
It's just the Forest team right now. I liked it decently before the start of the year, but it's just really not making much sense to me at the moment. It's just the way they're lining up doesn't look all that great. Now they do have some injuries and whatnot, but I don't know. It feels like they're just so reliant on Chris Wood for some reason
Yeah, and they really weren't able to get him the ball very much in
until
this
late
one.
in the game. Yeah, Scott McKenna on the bench though. So
Their bench is pretty bad for how many guys that they've signed in the past 2 years.
well, did you see they recalled Emmanuel Dennis, I think, or something, and loaned him to Watford, or somehow
Yes,
Emmanuel Dennis is back at Watford.
did see that. So Brentford taking the lead 58 minutes in from a corner. Ben Mee on that one. And it doesn't take long before Forest equalize. Hudson-Odoi playing a great ball in for Chris Wood. Scores with a nice header. That's all they got to do. They got to put crosses in the box. Let Chris Wood get headers. But for some
It's pretty.
reason, that's a
It,
little more difficult than it seems it should be.
yeah, you feel like Forest out of all the teams should near the bottom should be able to hoofball the best.
Yeah.
Um, what was I gonna say? Well, I guess they don't have Serge Aurier anymore. You know, he was just swinging him in late last year. Who's apparently gonna be player coach for the Cote d'Ivoire. That's neither here
Nice.
nor there. Um, yeah, I liked how the announcer after that goal occurred was like, "Yeah, you know, and that's you expect to see that out of Callum Hudson-Odoi. They need that a little more out of him." It's like, what? What do you what? You expected something out of Callum Hudson-Odoi?
Yeah.
It's like I sure didn't. I don't think they did. That's why they bought him for like 4 mil. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
I mean, if they can get him rolling, that'd be fantastic. But it just it doesn't seem like it really will be going. The only thing he's done this year so far is hit that absolute peach of a curler of a goal. But that was, well, that's really been it. Um, yeah. And then what happened after that? I mean,
Neil Maupay
uh,
with a fantastic goal to take
yeah.
the
No, I
lead.
thought there was one thing before. Didn't like I thought Forrest had a chance. Was it like Mangala or something?
That was later.
Okay,
There was
never
only
mind.
3 minutes between
Never,
the
never mind. Yeah.
those two goals.
So much occurred in this game that I lost track of what actually
Yes.
went down.
Yeah, fantastic strike by Neil Maupay. Great turn. Looked very un-Neil Maupay-esque there, but again, um,
Saw a great vid of him last week doing community work for Brentford, and I was very thrown off. I had to rewatch the video because some guy who was there, it looked like a Brentford kit because his red and white stripes, but he's wearing a Bilbao kit. It's very just odd.
I'm gonna
But yeah,
sign Neil
given what
Maupay.
Neil Maupay has been through, even with us making fun of him, and we haven't done that for a while. Ever since he got that abuse from the Everton fans, we said, hey, enough of this. So good for him. You know, your boy Rochelev got an assist on that one. So
I like
big up.
Roslav. I think he's very serviceable.
What are your thoughts on Sergio Reguilon in this game?
I don't think he really did anything.
He didn't do anything. I forgot he came on.
I noticed he came on and I was like, this guy, how many teams is he gonna play for?
He'll probably play for one other random Premier League team before it's said and done. He'll be on like West Ham in like 2 years. He'll
When they're
ride
in
away
the
on Tottenham's bench for another year, and then he'll go to
when
West
they're in
Ham
the
or something.
Champions League. West
Yeah,
Ham, somehow,
if
some way.
only.
So that one ends 3-2. Big win for Brentford, especially they've been on the
First win in
slide.
6.
Yeah,
First win in 6.
that dates back to quite a while. Started December, I think.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
good to
that's
see
brutal.
the other side of that. Obviously, great to have Ivan Toney back. Like we said, he brings so much to the team, not just in goal scoring, but completely in
He's
terms of
their
attack.
identity.
He's been instrumental in this team since they've come up. So great to see him back. Great to have more quality. Forest. That's
Who know?
that's another loss with the
Yeah,
pending charges, hanging over their head.
yeah. Because if they did get a minus 6 points right now, it'd put them at 14th down to 19th place or 18th place rather, right in the relegation zone. So we shall see. I don't feel
Yeah.
great about Forest odds. I'll tell you that much. I feel a lot better about Luton
They
these days.
definitely need Morgan Gibbs Sweat. That's for sure.
Yes, 100%.
All right, moving on to the next game. The one we were all waiting for.
I think I called 0-0, you called 1-1, and then it ended up being 2-2. We knew it'd be a draw. It was just a matter of how.
Sheffield United, West Ham. Pretty
Yeah,
even start to the game.
yeah,
You know?
pretty even start. I was surprised as it went on. Sheffield actually looked pretty good for Sheffield standards, and part of that was West Ham has obviously got a bit of a skeleton crew going on. I was surprised. I think I said on the last pod or 2 pods ago that Bowen was going to be out for a bit, and then he was out there. I don't know what I must have got false information.
Yeah, I think he
Um,
was like questionable coming into
okay,
this one, but he
but
ended
he
up
is
playing. I mean, they really needed him. obviously, like you said, due to
100%.
the missing players that they had no Kudus and
Yeah, it was really him and Ings up front, and then they kind of patching it together as far as the rest of the attack. Fornals and Cornet kind of helping
yeah.
out, but
Yeah, like you said, yeah, Sheffield didn't look too bad in this one, but West Ham opened the scoring. Maxwell Cornet, he
yeah, how
lives.
about that?
The boy who
Burnley's
lived.
finest. Burnley's finest.
When that ball went into the back of the net, it immediately just gave me flashbacks of the wonder days at Burnley when he was popping off.
The month he was solid. Yeah,
Yeah, and then he just kept
that was
getting
good.
hurt.
Yes, that's why Burnley went down.
What a lovely
Um,
time.
yeah, and then Sheffield followed up. New loan signing, former championship killer out there, Ben Brereton Diaz, pouncing on a rebound. It's kind of weird that the initial shot, like Areola, just like slapped it directly into the middle of the box.
Yeah.
I'm no goalkeeper coach or expert, but I don't think you want to slap it there. I think you want to parry it to the middle.
You know, I really liked Ben Brereton Diaz in this one. I just loved the energy that he brought. Like, you could tell immediately, like, this is a breath of fresh air for Sheffield. Someone who's like
Yeah,
half decent in attack.
yeah, clearly. I mean, it's incredible that another team or two weren't after him, just trying to bring him in, see what you can get. But good for Sheffield. They're going to need him if they have any chance of staying up. I mean, they'll just have to, get him and Cam Archer on the field at the same time. McAtee, and you might have a shot.
Yeah. Can someone explain to me why Cameron Archer isn't starting every game? Why is William Osula starting? What has he done to warrant
I
his
don't know.
start? I don't understand
Asula,
this.
Asula, Andre Brooks. I don't
Apparently,
understand.
Andre Brooks is going to Man U.
Is that right?
Yeah, apparently he's started like the last 7 games. I can't even remember seeing this guy.
I remember seeing him like twice. That was about it.
Like I
Um,
I, I was watching him. I was like, this guy is gonna go to United. Like I don't I don't
he's
know
taking flyers. I don't know.
I don't know how. But
Where'd you see that from?
I don't know. It was online somewhere, so it must be true. Um, who
Yeah.
did impress me in this game was James McAtee.
Yep.
He was playing some
He has
fantastic through
flashes.
balls.
He doesn't have many flashes. He's kind of like Gallagher when he was at West Brom. It's like 1 out of like 5 games he'll do something, and you're like, okay, and he disappears, and he comes back, and you're like, all right, there's something
I
there.
I
It's
don't
just the
know.
team's so bad.
Yeah, I think the team is so bad. I think I rate him a little higher than you do, but I think a lot of it's due to the team being very bad.
That is 100%.
But,
That
now they got the Chilean man who, arguably not very Chilean, but, represents
it
the
is what
Chilean
it is.
national team.
Was George Baldick really Greek? Maybe he is. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it
Maybe.
would be with
I
a
don't
name
know.
like that.
It's true. That's true. But
Is Jack Robinson really Nigerian? You tell me.
uh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yes.
Um, on the flip side, you know who didn't impress me this game?
Who
Ahmed
is that?
Hadjic. This guy is
Yeah,
so
their
trash
their
and somehow
defense.
is rumored to go to Napoli for like 20 mil.
Yeah,
He's terrible.
I'm confused. Different leagues, different play styles. Maybe it would be better over there, but they shouldn't get that money for him. Yeah, I thought both the defenses in this game were just so sloppy. Just
Yeah.
really, really not good. And part of it's the attacks were okay. West Ham, not really.
Yeah, not
Sheffield's attack was good, but
Cornell looked pretty rough.
yeah,
They just kept giving away the ball.
yeah, they Brunel, Sushek, really rough goes. Specifically in West Ham's defense, obviously we'll get to Shufal, but even Mavropanos, rough game. Rough game for the lad out there. But yeah, in the
Anyways,
second half,
yeah.
James Ward-Prowse, Sam.
James Ward-Prowse stepping up from
James
the penalty
Ward-Prowse.
spot. Danny Ings brought down in the box by Gus Amer. One of those where
The
he was
Gus
in a
Hammer.
bad position,
Yeah, it was rough.
got some contact, boom.
You know
Steps
Gustavo
up.
Hammer's Dutch?
What?
I'm not kidding you.
I
Look
thought
it
he
up.
was Brazilian.
I thought he was not. I thought he was like the guy on Forest last year who wasn't an actual player, who just came out of nowhere, and he's like 30 years old. Remember that guy?
Felipe?
No, he was an attacker. It was like Gabriel Scarpa or Scrappa or something like that.
Scarpa.
Scarpa, yeah. he
Generic
just came
man.
on for like 5 games.
Yeah,
Ran around like a
generated.
madman, then he's gone. Ward-Prowse steps up, slaps the penalty. There's no doubt about it. And then we get 2 red cards near the end of the game.
Oh my.
Mr. Brewster. Well, first
Rian.
off, let's start with this. Shufal gets a yellow in the 90+ third. And then we get Brewster. We got to go to VAR for this one.
Well, Brewster was before that.
Well, they're at the same time, but yeah. They're within the same minute, so. But the Brewster red, Sam, break it down.
Yeah, the Brewster red gets subbed on, proceeds to immediately just go 2-footed jumping, flying into a tackle on Emerson, and is immediately sent off. What an insanely boneheaded play. You're someone who has not been able to cement their spot in the team because you're always hurt. And then the one time you actually can come on as a sub, you immediately get subbed off. Brewster, you will never be a professional footballer at the top level with that kind of play.
That's probably fair to say. And then Sheffield coming down on a little bit of a counterattack. Shufal taken out. I don't even remember who he took out. Who was it?
Yeah, I just remember the second one. He just kind of like blocked off someone
Yeah,
that they were kind of on the break there.
I cannot remember. I remember that Emerson was the one who was taken out by Brewster. Cannot remember who was taken out by Shufal. Regardless, gets a second
McAtee.
yellow. McAtee. And then we have some controversy at the end with Areola coming out to claim it, doesn't get there, or well, I guess punch it, clear it, whatever. Goes for the ball, doesn't get it, and then takes out McBurney in the process, who doesn't get anything on the ball either.
Yeah.
And they call a penalty. We saw this. Match day 1, Wolves Man U, Sam. Witnessed it live. Man U clearly give away a penalty and they don't call it. And now this week against United, or West Ham United, that is.
West Ham United.
They get the penalty is called. Explain this, Sam.
I don't know how to. I mean, that's the consistency from the referees. And I mean, rightly called this time. But
I saw some people arguing that it wasn't. I was like, all right, well, that's just silly.
You can't just give goalkeepers free reign to just like
punch anyone, yeah.
Run out, collide with people, punch people. Like it's just, they get enough protection. Like they gotta be held responsible sometimes when they make mistakes.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Anyways, Ollie McBurney, cool as you like from the spot. Can't stand that guy. But anyways, finishes 2-2, points shared. Disappointing for West Ham to give away the 3 points.
3 points.
That late in the
we didn't
game.
even talk about it. Fabianski being subbed on.
Yeah, Fabianski, Areola got hurt.
Penalty. Ah,
Was he hurt or was it shame? Who knows?
both.
Yeah,
Both.
that was
Um,
it's funny. Fabianski sub down there.
legend. Um, yeah, 2-2. Solid result, I guess, for Sheffield,
Who's
given how the
better?
game kind of unfolded. Uh, better performance by Sheffield. West Ham, you come away feeling pretty disgusting about yourself, but you knew that, you know, you're definitely going to be dropping points in these games with no Kudus.
Yeah.
You're just not the same team. If you have Kudus in this game, it probably ends up like 4-1, and you don't even have to give up that second goal.
Right.
Moving on.
Yeah. Moving on.
Liverpool.
Bournemouth, Liverpool.
Yes.
Obviously,
Yes.
no Mohamed Salah, no Endo. Bournemouth missing a couple guys. Gango, Traore. What else were they missing?
Thought that was it.
Yeah.
Semenyo? Did you say Semenyo?
Semenyo. Yeah, right. That's
Yeah.
probably the biggest omission.
Yeah.
So rolling up with a little bit of different rotated squad. James Hill, whoever that is,
Yeah.
don't know. I thought he looked
Jimmy
alright.
Hill. Yeah, it didn't look that bad.
Sinistera
The
finally
main thing
getting a
was
start.
the main thing was like Mepham getting in there after a bit, not
Yeah.
having played. Sinistera start, Kluivert start. And then there's even some rotation as far as like David Brooks being on the bench and Phil Bill being on the bench. It's like, Alex Scott has been starting lately. They just kind of like totally rotated for something new. I didn't really understand that, but
Yeah, I was surprised to see Scott on the bench.
yeah, they must have Areola must have had some thought in his mind about wanting to be a little more defensive and stuff, and I don't think it panned out like they thought.
No, it really did.
No, it didn't.
They didn't have much going for him this game. That's for sure.
No.
I mean, the
I
opening.
mean, the first half was really just like there wasn't much for chances and stuff.
Yeah, not much for chances. I think the key moment, of some controversy, Kluivert,
Flavored potential
possible red card, high challenge, not called. I think it's one of those, it go either way.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as obvious of a red card as the Liverpool fans want to make it out to be. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's
I
no denying that
suppose.
it was a high challenge.
Yeah, and
Those
it's
have
definitely
definitely been.
up for debate.
Yeah, they've definitely been shown red cards for that before, so can't really that.
Yes.
So the one chance of note I had, Sinistera had a ball rolled across goal, but no one a touch. I think
Yeah.
Darwin Núñez had a chance like that too, where just no one home on the other end. But not a whole lot for clear-cut chances in the first half. Goes into halftime 0-0. Second half, first real chance of the game. Darwin Núñez takes the lead. Assist from Diego Jota. Perfectly weighted pass to get scoring started.
I gave you the task last week. What did I say? If you had to pick a set of guys to score, it was
Jota and Gakpo or Núñez and
yeah.
so I
How about
picked
that?
wrong.
I don't think you did because I mean Jota. Well,
Jota
you said
scored
Jota.
two.
Yeah, and Darweezy scored too, so it's equal
That's
for
true.
both.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Darweezy scored first.
I suppose. But Jota got his brace first, so
True.
yeah. Yeah, Liverpool really started to pick apart Bournemouth, especially open them up on the counterattack and stuff. Just finding a lot of space in behind. I felt like that was not there in that first half.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely looked a lot more threatening in the second half. Ended up getting that second goal 70 minutes in. Bit of a scrappy sequence, but it ends in Jota scoring the first. Then 9 minutes later, Jota grabs his brace after getting his own rebound. Little fortunate that the ball just fell right to him.
Yeah, the Connor Bradley special.
That goes sometimes. And then Liverpool cap it off with the fourth. Darweezy, pretty easy.
Yeah, some of these guys that Liverpool is subbing on, Owen Beck, Bobby Clark. I was like, who are these guys as they were coming on? Yeah, Darweezy capping it off. Not much to say. Bournemouth really just kind of didn't have it on today's trot out there. I don't think
Yeah.
they really had it going from the team selection, but again, limited with their typical team selection. So it is what it is. Really, you can tell that Bournemouth's best player this year has been Senesi, in my opinion. The only other thing
Yeah.
would be Big Dom, obviously. But other than that, you know,
He's been
Big
vital.
Dom's not getting service. You know, it's gonna be tough. Whereas Senesi's always kind of playing solid defensively.
Yep.
I think this was huge for Liverpool though to win without Salah like this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
McAllister, amazing performance, just running the midfield, best player out there.
yeah. I mean,
Midfield
that was
wise, that is.
definitely the question mark for Liverpool. How could they perform in the absence of Mo Salah? You know, he got hurt in AFCON, came back to Liverpool, so he's gonna be out for a couple weeks, but you know, maybe they'll end up getting him a little sooner than
Well, you know, they do have the fortune of playing Norwich City in the FA Cup this weekend, and then Wednesday they play Chelsea, so you could probably sit him. And then Sunday, the fourth, they come back to play Arsenal, so they'll probably
he'll be fit
have
for
him.
that one.
Yeah,
He
he'll
can
be good for that
guarantee
one.
it.
He'll rest up the Chelsea game though, probably. Maybe he comes on as a sub or something.
Yeah, I don't think.
They sub him on 97th minute, take a penalty,
Misses.
miss. Yeah, what can happen with him? Um, let's go to the last game. That for 0-0 is actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
Mainly because I was just hoping Wolves would win.
me too.
Uh, Brighton and Wolves. Uh, you know, Brighton actually looked okay to start, and they created a couple chances. I want to say Welbeck had a pretty decent, like, little half chance. But
Buonanotte had a chance cleared off the line.
left the line. Yep, your boy Tommy Doyle.
Tommy Doyle coming in clutch. What we
Yeah.
do.
What? And then Van Hecke had a pretty good one. Was that off a corner? I don't remember. I just
Yeah, I
remember he
can't
had a
remember if it
header
was a
on net.
corner or a set piece where it was like,
It was
I
just a
don't even
header.
know if he even got anything on it, but it looked like he
Yeah.
was going to, and it caught Neto off guard and nearly went in.
Yes.
Yeah, Brighton had some pretty good possession in the first half. They were pretty dominant starting off. Felt like the ball movement was better, still not perfect. I like what Estupinian brings to the team. Obviously, he's a big
Yeah, he's a
improvement.
difference. Yeah, big difference maker out there for him. And they're really able to possess the ball and work it. They look good in terms of specifically their midfield was very dominant of Wolves, but also Wolves were just posted up, low block. They're just like Tati, Dawson, Kilman, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So I thought they had that going for them. But Wolves on the counterattack, especially in wide areas, were very, very threatening with Cunha and Neto.
Yeah, I mean, Neto is just so insanely good on the counterattack. It's great to see him back. He adds a lot to this team and, you know, pairs nicely with the other pieces like Cunha. And, you know, Brighton were allowing Wolves to get back into the game despite Brighton's dominant possession. They'd have a couple mistakes here and there, just allowing Wolves
Yeah, a
to
couple
get
misplaced
some
passes and stuff.
chances.
I mean, Wolves probably technically had some of the best chances of the game, specifically the Cunha going all the way through, rounding Jason Steele, and then just the tight angle couldn't score slash square it. So
Yeah, definitely. So it goes in halftime, 0-0. Second half was a little more stretched. Brighton not able to keep possession quite as much. Wolves still looking to score on the counter. Brighton, I felt like their passing wasn't quite as good in the second half as it was in the first half. They weren't able to keep possession quite as well.
no, but I think part of that was just Wolves were set up so well too.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Wolves defensive setup was pretty much exactly what they needed to Brighton.
100%. Um, trying to think if anything happened late on in the game.
There was
Nothing that I could think of.
right off a halftime, Cunha got in behind, had his first shot saved, and then the rebound fell back to him, but he did it over.
Oh yeah, that's
That was
right.
a pretty big chance. Kilman nearly had scored on his own goal.
Yeah, he like deflected onto the post.
Yeah. And then late on, Lamina was able to get one-on-one with the keeper, but Jason Steele
Hands
coming
of
up
steel.
with a big save. Yeah. So a tightly contested game. Draw is probably a fair result, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's weird that they're very much like, oh, De Zerbi's undefeated in the last 4 games, and they have this streak at home where they haven't lost. It's like it just feels like they've dropped off substantially from
Yeah.
uh from last year, especially, back to back 0-0s. I wonder how many 0-0s Brighton had last year. I get, you don't have to play beautiful football all the time. You're gonna have to grind it out sometimes, but they just have had a few results that are very un-Brighton of last year, like so far.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't seen the best of them.
Yeah, last year they would have been turning some of these draws into wins.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah, that wraps up the second half of the match day 21. Did you want to do match day 22 predictions now,
Yes.
or do you want to save it? Yeah.
Yes. Because
All
our
right.
next one will probably be on Thursday or Friday next week.
Yeah.
Games on the weekend, so I think we
Yes.
should just
Yep.
get right into it. Got
Get
some
right
Tuesday,
into it.
Wednesday, Thursday action.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Starting off on
Um,
Tuesday. Forest versus Arsenal. Trap game, if I've ever seen one.
I've seen them, and this is not one of them.
I watched Arsenal away to Forest
I've
last
seen
year,
them, and
and
this is not one.
it was
I
one
can
of the
tell you
most
that.
depressing
That
games to
one was.
witness.
That one was. But this is Nuno we're talking about. Nuno's Forest.
Don't rule them out. Don't rule them out.
I can. It might be closer than you think, and it's like a 2-1 or something because Chris Wood gets
I
a
think
goal,
it will
but
be close.
I don't. I'm gonna go with a 3-0 Arsenal.
I'm gonna say 1-0 Arsenal. Goal comes late.
Everton, Fulham,
Yeah, Alex
at
Iwobi
Craven
Derby.
Cottage. Alex Iwobi Derby. There's got to be another one. Damien Duff ever play for Everton? No. Okay. Um. Yeah, I don't know. What are you gonna watch for in this one specifically? Feels like it. I know it hasn't been that long since we've seen Fulham, but it feels like forever.
It does
Because that
feel like a
game with
long
Chelsea.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh.
it feels like I haven't watched Premier League for like a month.
Yes. Raul Jimenez, big game going against Tarkovsky and Branthwaite. You think he can get a goal? These are the home merchants we're talking about, but also these are the road merchants in Everton.
Yeah. So we saw the opposite when
Strength
it was
versus strength.
Everton versus who was it? Everton at home versus someone else. Villa.
Yes, that was the Villa game. Their most
Whereas
recent
like
game.
you have the road merchants at home and the home
Weakness
merchants
versus weakness.
on the road. So now we have strength versus strength.
I think it's going to be fireworks. I think it'll be 2-2.
2-2. Yeah, I like 2-2. I'm gonna say 2-1 Fulham. I think
Okay.
they'll squeak it out.
I like Everton's ability to break in this one. I'm gonna watch for that. I think they'll have a counterattack goal. Luton Brighton.
Oh, I do want to add one thing though.
Okay.
Everton. No Ducore. He's out for a while.
Yep.
And they have lost like 8 of 9 games when he didn't play. Just saying.
Why does the Premier League app still show Dele Alli's on Everton?
He is still on Everton.
Well, get him the fuck in there.
Get him in there.
Get him going.
If
Come on, Dyche.
if they play him like one more time, they have to pay for him.
Oh God. Well, maybe that won't happen then.
That
Andre
won't
Gomez
happen.
special. Out
Yes.
of nowhere. Brighton and Luton. This was the first game of the year. How about that? Was at the Amex. I don't know. At the Ken this time. Luton been playing tolerable. Did you know Tim Kroll's on Luton as their backup? I just found this out.
Now that you say it, I remember seeing him a couple times and thinking
I see it in the team every time, but I feel like we just haven't ever brought it up. But yeah, now that I read it, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, they technically have another washed up Premier League guy, but he's so washed up he literally can't play.
he can't play.
Yeah, I mean, if Brighton just hold the ball and Luton sit back, Luton's bound to make one defensive error, so Brighton should score at least once. But also, if Brighton mess up, Luton should be able to hit on a counter. I'll go the 1-1 here.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty similar to that Wolves game we just watched Brighton play. Dominant in possession, but you got to be mindful of Luton on the counter and mindful of the balls being swung in by Mr. Dawg.
Alfie. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 1-1 as well.
I like that. It feels good.
It
If I
does
could
feel
bet
good.
my mortgage on 1-1, I would. Palace, Sheffield United.
Or close my house, fam.
uh,
I
This
don't
game-
really want to watch this game.
Is this where Sheffield thrusts themselves into they might stay up talks? This is their
It
mini
could be.
run.
It could be.
Even like think about every shitty team that we've ever seen has like at least one stretch where they win like 2 of 3 or something, or they like draw one and win one and lose one or something. You know, like they have some kind of stretch where it's like, oh well, maybe, and then
Maybe.
it's instantly like, no. Um, yeah, I mean this could be Sheffield's thing, but Palace, if they play some of the young guys, I mean, how bad could this Brazilian guy they signed in the summer be? Why is he not out there?
Yeah.
The Matthias Franca, get him out there.
Yeah. Give him
What
a
are we
start.
doing?
I'm over here looking at Ben Brereton Diaz like he's Luke Skywalker. I'm saying, Ben, you're our only hope. Save us. Not only would the Sheffield United fans be saying that, I would be saying that.
What if
Save
Andre
my
Brooks
eyes.
masterclass to seal his move to United?
Yeah, maybe I've just been sleeping on
We
him. I
missed
don't
it.
know.
William Asula masterclass. I'll say a 1-1 draw.
I think Sheffield United's winning. I'm gonna say 2-0.
1-0. 2-0. Holy
2-0.
God. Villa Newcastle, another game that was the first game of the year. This time at Villa
Yeah,
Park.
that was a big
Newcastle reeling. Villa playing kind of dropped off a little bit now, but they've had more road games than home games, and that's part of their drop off because they're just home merchants. Um, I don't know. We'll see how injured Newcastle are. Newcastle is like reeling just as like morale right now. Like they're not going to sell Trippier apparently, but they might sell Callum Wilson. It feels very uneasy, this
Yeah.
whole situation. I think their best bet is in the summer because if they don't qualify for Europe, is to sell Bruno to a La Liga team for like 80 mil. I think that's their hope for making money. And then maybe
Or
you sell
PSG.
like, yeah, and then maybe you sell like Callum Wilson or something too here or there. Jacob Murphy you sell to another Premier League team, just like
Almiron to Saudi.
Helmer back to MLS. Um, yeah. Anyways, we're getting off track. I'm just gonna go Villa 2-0.
No, okay.
I mean, and they don't even have Joe Linton now because he's out. He's wiped out for a while.
Yeah, he is out for a while. I like the way
I'll
they
still
played
go
against
2-0.
City. I think they'll make it competitive, but I think I'm gonna say 2-1.
Yeah. Yep. Um, Man City, Burnley. Speaking of City,
The Vincent Company derby where Man City
so we gotta
beat Burnley
talk
7-0.
about that tweet I sent you, where we're at the point to where Nathan Jones has a better points per game than Mr. Vincent Company. Remember how bad Nathan Jones was for Southampton?
Uh, it's because Vincent Company is not talking about Welsh women in coal mines.
I suppose
If he
he
was, he'd
doesn't
be in
get that.
trouble.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about that. Or being a gym teacher. He'd wear a suit with a baseball hat as a gym teacher.
Yeah. Would
I mean, I don't see how this isn't Man City 4-0, 5-0. Maybe they take it easy on him.
I think they'll
3-0?
take it easy. 2-0.
Okay, I'll go 3-0. Tottenham Brentford at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The newest what most wealthy club in London, Tottenham.
Yeah, that's
Congratulations on your big stadium. I think
yeah.
they do you have any trophies for that stadium, Tottenham?
Right. Hmm. 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 Interesting. Interesting.
Congrats to your NFL Jacksonville Jaguar games that you get to have there. It makes your team a whole lot better, and no one's laughing at your team. Uh, Meanwhile, in this game, Ivan Toney back, got to be feeling pretty good, but I still like Ainge Ball as far as how this will set up against Brentford. Um, Being able to work that midfield, especially, I'm gonna go 2-1 Tottenham.
Yeah, I think it has a potential to be an interesting game depending on how Brentford play it.
Well, Brentford won the game last year. I mean, that has nothing to do with anything because it was Conte ball, but still.
Yeah. Can't be ruled out. Brentford
They've
hitting
played
on the
they've
counter.
played 5. Each team has won once, and then there's been 3 draws.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say 2-2 draw. Just to be
Well,
a little spicy.
that's what it was earlier this year, and that was the first. That was another first game of the year, 2-2 draw.
I think Arsenal played Forest first game of the year.
Yeah, what is this about? I think they're all. Yeah, they all are. Wow,
All
how did
just the
that work
first
out?
game of the year.
I just don't remember Palace and Sheffield being a first game of the year. And Fulham Everton was too. Wow, I'm stupid. I'm so stupid. Um,
Life comes at you.
yes. Liverpool Chelsea.
Red hot Chelsea.
How is Chelsea the most informed team in the Premier
How is
League?
Chelsea not gonna win the league?
They might. They might. Do you have the Premier League app open?
Yes, I do.
Go to this game and click on Chelsea squad and read the first goalie. Read his name.
Ted Curd? He doesn't even have a number.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're just signing guys. He probably got bought for 20 mil.
Curd.
Ted Curd, good meal. Good
Ted
meal.
Curd.
Um, the best part is I read it as turd because I saw the T and then the er part.
Curd.
Turd curd. Uh, wow, we're really just going into some other realm right now.
Ugh.
Liverpool look good without Salah, but it's still gonna be. I think it'll still be tough. Um,
Old Palmer.
Cole Palmer's correct. I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool though. I think they still have too much quality. And Chelsea on the road suck. They're
Yeah.
home merchants now, which is crazy because there is no atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. Now they can only play well at home.
I'm gonna say 3-0 Liverpool.
I'd also like to see Enzo's home road splits as far as like average match rating because at home he's like actually looks like he's like a world class player, and on the road he's like panicking, turning the ball over and stuff. Um, West Ham Bournemouth, Sam.
West Ham Bournemouth. Can Bournemouth get back?
Both teams kind of out of form right now.
Yeah, I mean, West Ham, they could have picked up a win the last game had they not.
Is that Ted Curd?
That's Josh Brooking.
No, I'm looking for Ted Curd. You're mistaken.
I wish it was Ted Curd, but
I'm gonna
I
look
just
him
said
up.
he's got a funny hair.
You break this
Hairdo.
down, and I'm gonna look up Ted Curd.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the teams bounce back after disappointing performances. Bournemouth, I expect will be a little bit better. Also, would expect a little more of a normal team. Obviously, they have to have some changes to the guys that they're missing, but I kind of feel better about Bournemouth than I do West Ham, but West Ham pretty tough defensively. So, I think maybe a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think that that's a fair shout. This one's in the Olympic Stadium.
Finished 1-1 the first game of the season.
Yeah, it's weird because Bournemouth actually played better than West Ham in my opinion in that game, but their goal came off some shitty bounce that fell to Big Dom. Uh, I'll say Bournemouth grab a win, 2-1.
He's like 12 years old.
He's apparently on some England under 18 or
Under
20
12s.
squad. Yeah, under 12s, England under 12s, because he's in an England kit. Um, yeah, looks good.
All right.
So
Funny you
Eddie
mentioned
Curd,
Onana.
yeah, because he's back. He got benched by Cameroon at AFCON.
I was just thinking of that potential penalty he didn't give in the first game. You referenced it
Yeah, it
earlier
was
in this
this one.
episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was this game.
Just thought that was funny that you happened to mention that.
True. It's
Yeah.
funny.
Wolves versus United. I think I like Wolves in this one.
At the Molyneux, Man U will find a way to somehow grind a draw out of this, if not a win. I don't know how. I don't understand it.
I think
I
Wolves
like
just got
Wolves
some more
better.
bite. No pun intended.
Yeah. I like Wolves, but I don't understand how United do this. I don't understand how they do the things they do, Sam. So I'll go with a 1-1 draw.
I'm gonna say 1-0 Pedro Neto. Be honest.
How about that? How you like that?
And you know
So
who's gonna score in Sheffield United's 2-0?
Ben Berert and Diaz.
Ben Bererton Diaz, and who else? The Dutch Gus Hammer.
Gus Hammer.
The Dutch
There
Hammer.
you go. The Dutch Hammer. Teddy Curd, the English Hammer.
Turd.
Turd Curd. Oh my
Poor
gosh.
lad. Poor lad. Unfortunate
Oh
name.
man.
Oh,
Yeah. Great stuff.
good
All right.
stuff.
Well, we actually have games this week consecutively, and it's going to be a glorious week ahead. Little FA Cup for some people to enjoy this weekend. I think the only game that was today was Bournemouth spank Swansea. That was about it. So, um, other than that, anything else before we depart, Sam?
No.
Okay. Well, on that note, adios, mis amigos.
Bye.